No, I'll go ahead and open up. Appreciate everybody being here tonight, taking the time. Disappointing, obviously, with the finish and how the game finished up. Talked to, our players all week about the opportunity that we had, and certainly felt like we had a good week of practice. Certainly felt like we came in, with our minds in the right place to be able to play. We were not able to control the line of scrimmage on either side of the ball very well tonight. Creating some difficult situations, particularly in the second half. Talked to the guys at halftime really about being able to come out the second half and, trying to give ourselves an opportunity to score. I'd already told them, if we do that, we're going to have a surprise onside. We'll get it and try to get the game within 14 points. We were able to do that, and unfortunately we weren't able to hold on to that caliber of play for very much longer. And I've got to do a better job and figure out, how we can finish and do a better job on the line of scrimmage. We did have some guys, have some really, good play tonight. Chase Bella played extremely well. Again, he's been playing really well for quite a few weeks now. Had almost 18 tackles. I think Rocky, tied the school record tonight for touchdowns by a tight end, in the season. So, there's a lot of different things that I thought we did, a decent job with. I was told there was a situation with Darius Curry. I'll watch the film, I'll evaluate the situation, and I'll review it, I'll address it. I'll decide if there will be a disciplinary action for next week based on the standards of our university and our school and what we're trying to uphold. We want to be known as a good football team. We want to be known as a school that plays with high sportsmanship and a team that plays, with a high level of conduct and high standards. And I apologize if we didn't uphold that tonight, but I'll take a look at the film and I'll evaluate it and see where we need to move with Darius moving into next week. So with that, I'll take any questions.
You did mention some guys, they keep playing well for you. Rocky being one of them. Jace, you put on scholarship, 18 tackles. Those are things you look at, the action reaction stuff that you've been talking about, that you still have guys that are playing hard for you throughout all this.
Yeah, I don't think at all, that they've quit at all. I don't think anything like that, just really challenging when you look across, the board and we hadn't had the kind of season you would like. We've won 2 football games. They continue to battle, they continue to fight. We continue to practice hard. We continue to try to work and play and demand, that they play at a high standard. I love those kids. I mean, they have given everything that we've got, and there's a lot of guys that are performing well, and there's a lot of things that we've got to try to figure out how to perform better. But to your point, those are all the examples of the action tape and the reaction. What we want to be able to try to do, like I said, we went at halftime and said we need to find a way to score a touchdown. As soon as we do, we're going to have an onside kick, and then we're going to turn around and score again and get it within a 2-score game and give ourselves a chance. And we were able to do that. We weren't able to do it, well enough the second half. We had an opportunity to, hit a ball over the guy's head on the kickoff. We weren't able to execute it, and so we wound up with the ball at the 50 rather than either the ball in our hands or the ball at the 20. So, those are the little things, again, that matter in a game and that change the balance of the game.
You've never used the injuries as an excuse, but they are the reality of what the thing is. Is that where it comes back to, where you're not able to maybe sustain things for long periods of time again?
Well, I think certainly, I think, making the quarterback, I think, makes it the 48th unique starter of the season. Mm-hmm. And, we start the year with 85 scholarships, so that kind of cuts us, the challenge is being able to have enough depth to be able to rotate people. We wound up, losing a defensive lineman during the week this week. We wound up losing another tight end and wound up losing a receiver and wound up losing a quarterback. So, all those things since Tuesday. So there's challenges. Again, I don't want to make excuses for anything. The 11 that we asked to go out there and play, we ask them to play as hard as we can and to a certain standard. And I think they're really trying to do that. And, I give those kids a lot of credit. There's a lot of teams in college football right now, that are in transitions, and those teams, have a lot of different guys on your team quit. They have a lot of different guys, don't finish games the way you need to and point fingers and fuss. And I think this group continues to play hard for the university. I think they continue to play hard for each other. And I think they're continuing to play hard for the staff. And so, I just talked to them about, we finished up about, it's going to be got to have a short memory. It's a short week. We've got Air Force on Friday, and trying to get ready to go win that football game. And so that's what we've got to turn the page as quickly as we can.
That second quarter, obviously, I think Boise scored 20. You guys just couldn't really get off the field. They had the ball most score. How hard is that on the defense when they're on the field for whatever it was, 10 or whatever minutes in a quarter?
It's really challenging, and to your point, it's one of the reasons why, it's why we watch the game film together. I mean, I've always kind of felt like, we can get real compartmentalized just with the offense or just with the defense and special teams, and certainly there's specialties in there, but I think it's important that when we review the film, we see all the pieces that create winning and losing, and what we have to do to complement each other better. And we had moments, like I said today, that I thought we had played some complementary football well, and we had some really good reactions, and you're hoping that those can create a chain reaction. And unfortunately, we just weren't able to finish that like we needed to. But I'm still proud of our kids for the way that they fought. I'm still proud of them for the way that we've got it. But, when you got some challenging positions with depth, for sure. Defensive line is one of those. And same thing with our offensive line right now in the quarterback position. So we'll keep trying to take a look at it, and we'll try to move on and turn the page as quick as we can, because we got to get ready to start practicing for Air Force tomorrow.
I mean, how creative almost are you having to get with, rotations and everything in some of those positions?
Well, the challenge is, good example would be like with Rocky. Rocky's given us everything that he's got, but, Carlos has been injured, and then we wound up losing McConnell this week. So, you have to create different personnel groupings offensively to kind of give him a little bit of a break, and defensively we've kind of been doing that for, I don't know, since probably the first month of the season, where we're having to create different personnel groupings and ask different people to go out there, and sometimes you wind up asking some people to do some things that you normally wouldn't ask them to do if you had your personnel correct. But it's just, like I said, it's been a challenging year, and I'm really proud of the guys that are in that room, and we want to continue to maintain a high standard for how we do things, and we'll try to evaluate as best we can and then get it turned as quickly as we can.
Jace gets 18 tackles tonight after you put him on scholarship. Is that one of the nicer thank you notes you've ever received?
Yeah, well, Jace has done great, and I've been really proud of Jace, all year. But obviously he's played really, really well the last couple of weeks. He's just a great example of, again, the guys that are in that room that are continuing to play for each other and play for our school, and again, trying to play for us. So I think that they know how much we care, and I think that, they certainly are playing like that and continue to do those things.
You might want to be careful with this one, but public opinion is Javian really didn't do anything all that bad on the long touchdown. What was your impression of that play getting called back and having to work harder for that touchdown?
Well, what I told Chop, and Chop's young guy, 18, 19 years old, obviously really excited about the opportunity to have a big explosive touchdown like that. And, but it goes back to what we talk about with our standards all the time. And again, what does that look like? Well, as soon as you start having things that hurt the football team, then you've got to be able to sit there and understand that you can't do those things. And things that hurt the football team, in the moment and the opportunity, they're there. We want to make sure that we address it, point it out, and there's got to be some type of reaction to those things at the same time. But if that's a junior or senior, I'm going to be a little bit more firm, just like I am on my oldest son and probably my youngest on some things where they're making a mistake for the first time. But I don't think he'll make that again, and hopefully we can continue to move forward where he has opportunities to have explosive plays like that moving forward without making some poor decisions at the same time.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Guys.